You've said that nothing in your life has come close to this. Give us a sense of what you mean by this and how does it change the digital landscape in India?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for inviting me. You're right. I've seen a lot of growth businesses in my life for the last 10, 12 years, but I don't think I've seen anything which goes vertically up like this, which it did in the last, I would say a week. Reposo was growing very heavily and very strongly prior to the change in the policies, but post that, we are adding close to about 10 million people, 10 million users a day, and it's just, I think we're at about 75 to 80 million users right now, and it's growing, continues to grow. And I think to your second part of your question, this effectively is an opportunity for a lot of the Indian entrepreneurs and tech companies to fill this void, a void that is really large, by the way, and the opportunity for India to actually go and claim what I would argue is the fourth tech hub ecosystem in the world after US, China, and Israel. You don't get such opportunities, especially in digital world where the borders are absolutely open, especially for countries like India, where you can have an open opportunity, an open playing field to go and claim and build large businesses. And that's what we are trying to do with both Glance and Reposo right now, and feel very, very excited about that.
We talked about how Glance and Reposo have benefited from the latest developments. The question really is, can they compete with TikTok? Can they compete in terms of numbers, in terms of engagement?
We're seeing close to 40 minutes of engagement already. So therefore, what we had done, our product was very, very good. It's been in the work for the last several years. So it's a very strong product, part one. Part two, I think one has to look more fundamentally at the issue of any other application out there in the short video space. I don't think they were very deeply ingrained into the Indian society, culture, and values. And the reality is, in entertainment, one has to be very clear that you're embedded at that layer. And I think what Reposo does really well, it is very deeply entrenched into that, and therefore connects with the creators and connects with the consumers much more deeply. And therefore, we are seeing certainly a very high level of engagement. And I think when and if TikTok comes back, we'll be easily able to compete against that without a doubt.
TikTok, so you're not ruling out TikTok being out of the picture for a long time then, I suppose, but you've got to prepare for them to return, I guess, Naveen, yeah?
Yeah, look, in business strategies, you don't plan for things to just always be great, or you're not to have any competition. And therefore, we are absolutely okay with that. We actually think, by the way, that creators who are at the core of this new entertainment are absolutely looking for much more safer environments to participate and showcase their creativity. And Reposo is clearly that safer environment for creativity and a much more has much longer longevity. That's what they've now seen, and therefore when they moved over to us in flocks, by the way. So we're getting close to about 4,000 to 5,000 creators moving on to the Reposo platform on a daily basis. And that's a massive movement of creative talent from one platform to the next platform. And we think they're here because they're seeing great tools for themselves, but also great communities and consumers who are consuming their content.
Naveen, I just want to shift to, I suppose, the wider businesses there in India. Risk capital, venture capital has always been quite thin on the ground. Do you think with these 59 apps being effectively taken out of the picture, it's a new opportunity for these companies? And do you think that you've got this situation changing in venture capital coming back, in your view?
Well, you realize two things. One, India was never a great place from a pure digital company's perspective, a homegrown digital company perspective, because just by the sheer nature of the borders and India being so open, if one wanted to build a purely digital company, you would actually have global companies come in and create, subsidize Indian consumers with global consumers. But the only kind of digital companies that were actually invested in India were largely the offline to online digital companies, because that required a physical infrastructure and supply chain changes on the ground. But what this does right now is creates a vacuum, a Red Sea moment, where one can actually go out as investors or as entrepreneurs, actually globally, both global entrepreneurs and global investors can come in and actually, go after the Indian digital ecosystem and actually build the next set of companies. And you have an opportunity to build, the next large digital enterprise out there. And for India, as I said, it's an opportunity to create the next large hub that is, that may not have gotten created otherwise.
Naveen, Inmobi was among the first investments for Softbank in India. Has Softbank's approach to its investments in India changed? Is it still pushing for rapid growth?
I think Softbank is changed its approach to a great extent in terms of looking for unit economics and building businesses which are sustainable and scaling over a long period of time. It's both for the changes that it has gone through, but also because of the changes due to COVID. I think it's very important for businesses to have far significant, businesses which are actually going to generate profits over a short period of time. And we were one of the first companies for them that actually created profit back in 2016, and we continue to do so as a group company even today. And therefore, by the way, we've been able to invest into multiple other businesses and create, not just the Inmobi Marketing Cloud, but also Glance and Reposo right now.
Naveen, I mean, this would seem to be the time when you need to invest. You're alluding to that already with this opportunity being presented to you. So in order to do that, you need money. Would one of the options be to list? And if so, are you planning to?
I must say, it's just only been a week where this craziness has happened. Haven't had time to sit down and think about a lot of these things. But we certainly would look for capital to essentially accelerate this growth. But one of the things that we do have, by the way, because we already own a very large consumer property in the form of Glance, therefore, when you can connect two large consumer platforms together, they help each other grow much faster. And therefore, we're not necessarily directly looking for capital to just spend on customer acquisition, because we can actually help. We can leverage each of our platforms to do that. That's one. Second, I've never seen a brand that gets created in a matter of few weeks. Reposo is now a household brand, a nationalistic brand, created on the back of a massive wave, and therefore a lot of the capital that is typically used for growth, in building consumer businesses, I think the work's already done for that. And so we just have to make sure, we continue to build a better and better product and give our creators great set of tools and an environment in which they can create the next generation of entertainment for us.